Hello, and welcome to the second devblog episode, whatever you want to call it, of Let's Make a Game similar to Fragile Allegiance, or whatever I've actually called this series. Here we are on the map, which is slightly different from the previous video. Not too much. The UI's changed. There's a few things that have been added. Let's actually do a scout. So I've changed the scouts just for testing purposes. They have a much larger view range just because it makes life a lot easier. And you may notice a few differences here. First off, we have factions. So this is, I guess, another faction's asteroid. Our asteroid is here. It has a name now, so all of the individual asteroids have names. And when you first do a scout, it tells you the expected composition of the asteroid. So instead of like having to send a scout to every asteroid to see what's on it, you can kind of take a guess what would be on here. So this will have some different things. If you have a look at the actual items here, we have some deposits, and that's what you're seeing here. So depending on the composition of the asteroid, you'll have up to 5 different at the moment, but we can have as many as we want really, and different quantities depending on the composition of the asteroid. Not too exciting. We can colonize now, so if we build a colony ship, we can send one off here. Just a bit of a kind of easier way of doing it than finding a transport ship, sending it wherever you want to go. And it'll also actually find the closest transport ship that has enough fuel to get there. So for example, it sent this one, despite the fact that we have one here as well, because it's closer. But if we colonize up here, it's going to go over there. The next big thing that's actually changed now is the start of the actual asteroid map, I want to call it. Not really map, kind of... the ability to build and stuff on asteroids. So if we build a few scouts on here and we have a look. So this is our starting asteroid. And you can see it's got a few ships orbiting it at the moment. We've got, looks like a colony ship, 2 colony ships actually, and a few scouts. I haven't done the orbit properly. As you can tell, they're just all kind of following the same orbit route, all in the same axis, which is not perfect, but I'm kind of more going for functionality than looks at the moment, although this is going to be a massive piece of work, most likely. First off, I'm going to have them all deciding their own orbits, so they're all going to be going in different directions. They're going to have to launch and then go into that orbit, and they're going to have to avoid colliding into each other. So this is going to be interesting, and then we're going to have, like, actual enemy combatants in the same area, which is going to be another challenge to have them not crash into each other and be effective in combat at the same time. So I'm going to see how that goes. It should be interesting, that's for sure. And yeah, I'm actually expecting that to be a really big piece of work at some point. But right now, they're just flopping around like idiots in the same orbit. They can't land or anything like that because we don't have any docks or anything like that. But we do have one building. Building isn't really implemented yet. Basically, when you colonize, it makes this first starting building on there. Actually, if we have a look at the asteroid itself, it's in here somewhere. Oh no, I was right. It does have like a list of the buildings on the asteroid. At the moment, we just have this one building, which isn't particularly interesting. But I'm hoping to expand this out. What I'm thinking for the building at the moment is more of a kind of Frostpunk style building system. I think the scale of this asteroid is completely wrong with what we're going to be going for, because we're going to need like a big crater. But at the moment it was more for testing purposes, and I found some assets on the asset store for some asteroids, so I thought I'd throw them in here just so it looks slightly more interesting than just more cubes everywhere. And then of course the buildings are cubes, so whatever. Yeah, excited. I think I've got a decent amount done in the amount of time I had to do it in. And definitely the next thing I'm going to be working on is building. I would like the next thing for us to have is actually being able to build some buildings. Most likely like the starter buildings like water, air, food, that kind of stuff. Just so we can kind of have also the mechanics of population growth and people dying when they don't have enough resources, stuff like that. And then after that, I'm going to have to probably deal with this ship business, which is, yeah, as I said before, going to be interesting. What I'd really like to do is, I don't know if any of you would have seen Battlestar Galactica and the assault on the asteroid base they had there. So you could have kind of like almost trench run style ships. Maybe I'll even have fighters in formations, kind of like the difference between Homeworld 1 and Homeworld 2. That could be interesting. As you can tell, I'm kind of making up as I'm going along. No design document or anything like this. So we could end up with some scary scope creep, which I need to try and avoid. But yeah, if I find something that's easy to do and is going to be cool, I'm definitely going to do that. So that's about it for this video. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one, I guess.